So today on Project Shop, we are absolutely overrun by scrap, and then I compounded the issue by going out and picking up more. So I paid like $1,100 for all this scrap here. Got a cool air compressor motor. It's got a rotary motor that actually works. Let's see if I can't keep that. It came with a, I don't even know what this is, some type of dryer, because they were using it for cleaning cell phones or doing something with electronics, so the air had to be extremely clean, extremely dry. So I've actually never seen one of these before, but he said it worked, but most likely I'm going to scrap it, and then we're going to tear that motor apart, get the stator out for the pile of stators and motors and stuff I got for the stator wrecking machine. I'm going to keep building up. Today we're going to work on strictly the HID fixtures and the transformers. Got quite a bit of them. They're just everywhere. 4 big ones here. Just piles of them. Some of these I already started processing. A couple bins back there I still need to get to. And then, yeah, right over here. I got a pile here. I got a bunch of transformers already up here. I think the blower's right under here. And then I already started shooting a video, but I got sidetracked and the scrap got overrun over here. I'm starting making a video on these things, and I'll show you what they are and where I got them, and how you can make some decent money with them. Unfortunately, I'm doing something that I hate doing, which is staging scrap up and moving it twice, you know. But I'm out of room at the moment. I just wanted to show you guys something real quick. I made this. This is a drum dolly. I actually made this 10 years ago or something. I made it out of a concrete cutting blade. Back when I used to cut concrete. This is a 36-inch blade, a walk behind saw. And what I did is I just took the blade, and then I welded some I think it's 2-inch square stock, and then these were actually angles. So I took one angle, I cut it in half, and then I split it on the angles and welded it on there, and then I welded this hook on here. And I made this specifically so that I can roll drums. When a 55-gallon drum is sitting on here, it's literally like, goes right underneath here. It slides right in there, because when that drum is full, it weighs about anywhere from 12 to 1,800 pounds, depending on how the steel's packed in there. Like little tiny, it's funny, the little tiny transformers, like these ones, I get more steel. They lay down in there better, and they're heavier. Some of those barrels weigh 1,800 pounds. This big chunky steel, there's a lot of air gaps, especially the big ones. A lot of air gaps in there. So all right, we're getting a little pile of transformers here. I'm hoping here in a short while we're gonna have a pile like up to here. So we got this AC units off. We're not gonna break those down today. We're strictly working on light fixtures. Took a big chunk out of here. All them transformers down there. And look at here. It's all copper. Big old copper plates. Big old copper transformer coils. Look at that. Nice copper, man. Wow, that's heavy. All right, so this all came from one customer, and this is pretty much about what I get from my electrician customers. All kinds of stuff. Some of them even do AC stuff. This is the first time I got something like this. I mean, like, this is for a air compressor. So we're gonna save the stator out of this, take it apart, and save the copper for my stator. But I wanted to show you guys, I don't have sides on my trailer, so I'm constantly building walls out of scrap to contain my scrap. So we're having fun. This thing is heavy. This LED, that thing's super heavy. We got a nice little pile going over here. Actually making I already shot the first half. There was a couple of these I took apart, and I'll show you where I found them and what they are. That'll be in another video. I gotta shoot the rest of the video for that. We're gonna stack all this up here until we get the trailer cleared, and then we can start stacking the stuff back on the trailer, which I won't do until tomorrow probably, because tomorrow I'm hoping to get to these AC units and possibly all these large transformers. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got one sitting over there. I've already made a video on how to break these down. Most of the time they're aluminum coils, but who knows, we might run into a copper one, because that's what this came from. You know, it's very rare, but sometimes you get copper coils. And I told the guy that I bought this from, I asked him how he did it. He shook his head. He goes, man, that was tough. He took the plates out, which I wouldn't do. I would have just cut that right down there, and I could have had that part in 20 minutes, which I'll show you how to break these down in about 20 minutes a piece. Give you a little head cam action here. Now, I got some weird music playing in the background because usually I like to rock out when my when I'm working. Makes me work a lot faster, but YouTube will copyright strike the crap out of you if you got someone's music playing in the background. So it's some type of royalty-free music. It's just something, so I don't go insane not having my music. And we'll see how this goes. Now, most of these light fixtures I'm taking apart here are different. It's just a random selection of lights. These all came from the same customer. I'm not sure how long he was saving this stuff for, but it's actually the first time I went to a lot of times, like, I'll have a customer and then the actual individual employees will save stuff from side jobs, and I'll go to their house and buy it. That's what I did here. And this guy, he lived see, yes, we got a nice little pile of transformers started. Trying to knock out all these lights so we can start running these transformers maybe around 2 or 3 o'clock. I guess more coming. He's over there. pulling them out. I got them in the drums on the deck. More lights. And then I got those 2 bins over there we're gonna knock out. Got a nice little pile of cast going. Some ballast. I guess I'm gonna have to start a bin for ballast. I don't have anything set up yet, so we're just gonna throw them over here for now. Now I really hate moving processed scrap and staging it up, but this is kind of the situation you get into when you just have way too much scrap and nowhere to put it. It's like all on top of each other, and just gets out of control really quick. So it's when you got to bring in some help and just knock it out real quick. Okay. Got here. It's all different, you know? Everybody should use the same freaking screw. Even if everything was just these nut drivers, that'd be great. You wind up getting some with 2 and 3 different freaking screws in it, man. It gets crazy. That's a different size there, so we need a smaller bit. A whole bunch of random shit. Alright, now we need a flathead. I don't understand why people are still using flatheads. It's the most annoying screw you can come across. Phillips head, Phillips head. Back to Phillips. That's why you need like 3 or 4 guns, man. You're just constantly swapping out bits, and I have a nice drill here, but these impacts, the nut drivers, the impact drivers, or whatever you want to call them, they seem to be, they spin a little faster, I think. I don't know, I got to look at the RPMs, but just that impact, it's way better than just using a drill. The drills just, they're good for drilling out pop rivets and stuff like that, but that's about it. And the reason I like tin snips is because a lot of times, like these here, I can just get in there and cut them with the tin snips. You don't have to unscrew them, and you just keep cutting, and they're long, so you got all these wires here. You can get on there and just about get that in one snip. You know, you're not making multiple cuts, and they're spring loaded, so you're not constantly fighting to keep them open. But cutting this wire and all that thing, they last, I probably I had to put that pair down because it just wasn't cutting anymore. I probably had them for about a year, cutting steel and cutting copper. Yep, we missed a screw. And if you got the right tools and you get into a good rhythm, this actually goes pretty quick. Ballast. Time to mess with that. So that looks like a lot of plastic. That's aluminum. Cast. Send that as cast. That's garbage. Here, I'll show you a little trick with these bulbs. Take your cable cutters, right? You got clean glass, throw it in the trash or the recycling or whatever, and then you keep cutting down on that. And you can recover the brass, and then that you save and take that to your local dump and tell them it's light bulbs, and you're recycling. There's actually a little piece of mercury somewhere in there. I want to run these through a hammer mill and a water sluice, a dedicated water sluice, and I want to recover the mercury. Last time I looked into it, mercury was like $3,000 a gallon or something. So and then you can even go further and clip these like that, and then you're just left with that, and this is brass and that's steel. Sometimes there's actually stainless steel in there, but the sockets and stuff like that, these things here are loaded with brass, so that's why you see me saving them. I used to have a hammer mill. I would run these through and just beat these up. You know, we're gonna take these apart as much as you can with a drill, and you know, that's aluminum, brass. Sometimes there's stainless in there. So these here you want to save, and then you can reduce all that bulb down to just that, you know, and that's the only thing that's actually contaminated. And then you can recover a bunch of brass. And you can clean this up even more. Get that black stuff out of there. And then you'll pretty much have clean brass at that point, you know. So I was these light bulbs, I used to run them through my hammer mill, just kind of testing them, and I was trying to see if I could separate the glass from the brass, and I was gonna try to recover the mercury. I probably ran 30 light bulbs through there just to see what would happen, and the machine that I had that was breaking these down, I couldn't feed it fast enough. I mean, I could probably do a couple hundred light bulbs in a minute through the machine, but I would have had to build, which I probably still going to do, a dedicated water sluice, so I'm not contaminating anything else with the mercury. Something we'll look into here in the future. Now, See, that's the problem right here with these damn light fixtures. Some bird was living up in here. A lot of times you'll find eggs, dead fucking birds, and all kinds of shit. You really shouldn't be touching that. You know, could have like bird crap. A lot of these light fixtures, especially the big ones that like that have been out in the parking lot, birds will sit on top and crap on them. You really should be wearing gloves. And I wash my hands a lot when I'm dealing with this stuff, especially if you're gonna go eat. Yeah, that's nasty. Okay. Some sheets, cast. Now let's, not sure what these are. So these are like an LED. Just see if we can't get the driver out of it. And most of the time, I just smash the glass with a hammer and send it. So these electronic drivers are basically like an electronic ballast. This is actually extrusion. I wonder if that'll come apart. I doubt it. Yeah. Now, I've never actually tried, but I wonder if we could freeze this like I did with the ballast. Yeah, you can see that's extruded aluminum. And I'm not gonna think there's too much copper in here, but that's yeah, man, I'd say that's extruded. You can see the stripes where it was forced out of the extrusion like a Play-Doh machine. See if we can't get in there. I know there's really not much. Oh wow, that's easy. So this is encased in like rubber. That's interesting. Oh look, there's more screws to get it apart. I shouldn't be wasting my time. Oh, look at that. And that's why that's no good. That thing cooked. Whoa, shit. Oh, look at that. Little transformer in there. Some more aluminum. Man, these electronic drivers might be worth saving. Now, I know these things here usually got like copper on the bottom. Some type of contact there or something. And then these transformers here, I've come across this style before. There's not steel on them. Usually it's like this I don't know what it is, but it's brittle and you can crack it. I don't think it's steel. Let me see, where's my magnet? Oh, maybe it is steel. Some weird steel. You know, I've always cracked these with a hammer. And then there you go. Some number 2 copper. Wow. Some extruded aluminum. Who knows what else is in here? Feels like a block of rubber. I wonder if any of these electronics are worth anything. All right, played with that enough. It's the best part. Have to start an extrusion pile. Now I don't know if that's worth. I got a couple of them here. If it'd be worth taking them all apart. Nice little chunk of extrusion on there though. Maybe I'll do a video. Take those apart and see what the percentage of the materials that you can get out of them. A little chunk of number 2. See, stuff like that, I'd like to run through a hammer mill and grind it up all into a dust. Even these. I watched that dude throw these right in the hammer mill and separate. The problem with that is like it's a big mess. I mean, I guess if you got the right water sluice, it's worth it. So let's see here. Oh, cats. Now what I would do with that is just try to smash that glass. And I'll send it just like that. That's a heavy chunk right there. These LEDs, even though you don't get a transformer with some copper in there, a lot of times the fixtures themselves are made of like a high or a heavy dense, a real dense cast aluminum. So we'll clean this scrap up. Sometimes you got to pay attention to this wire. A lot of times this wire's tin coated. If you separate it, I consider that number 1. I mean, that's solid. I can actually run that through my wire stripper. But I mean, this is real tedious to do that with this wire. I don't sit there and check it all the time. I probably should because of the price difference between number 1 and number 2. I think I'm getting $2.50 for number 1 insulated and $1 a pound for number 2 insulated copper. So this is some kind of weird light. Let me get my short. Always try to get to the next screw as fast as possible. Usually when I'm taking something apart, minimum, I try not to let 5 seconds go by before I get to the next whatever I'm doing. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Nice little chunk of cast. Now some of this stuff just gets tedious, you know, and a shit like this, like, you know, what do you do with this? What the hell is that? I have no idea. It's interesting. Yeah, let me see that. It's like unwrapping a present. Hopefully. Oh, batteries. So battery backup. That makes sense. I don't think those batteries are recyclable. Now some of these boards, I don't know. I see the guys depopulating them and doing all kinds of stuff, but this little transformer there. See all the little copper. I'd like to take some of this and just throw that in a hammer mill grind all this down into a dust, run it through a nice water sluice shaker table, and separate all this stuff. Silver solder, the copper, the iron, you know, something that you can run maybe like 1 or 2 tons an hour through. So that's just, it's got a chunk of cast on there. That's a nice little heavy chunk, and a bunch of like nasty sticky, oh, that's a piece of copper, look at that. That's cast aluminum. So that's #1 copper. Put that, I don't have a, I guess I gotta find a copper bucket now. Okay. Alright, garbage, cast, garbage, cast, ballast. Oh, that's not, is that rubber? Okay. You having problems? Wow, it's light. You know those are electronic ballast. Now, if you separate the electronic ones from the magnetic ballast, there's 2 different prices on them. They pay you more for the magnetic ones, or at least to where I go does. They're not all the same. That feels like that feels pretty heavy for how big it is. No, just bend the bottom. It'll go through the machine. Yeah, just knock that over. Yeah, look at all that. Little transformer in there. I showed you in my video how to get that potting compound off of there real easy. Oh, this one's burned up, real brittle. And there we go. Nice little copper transformer right there. See, sometimes these things are definitely worth taking apart, man. And that one there looks like we could just put it on that lip. See that? Break it open. I can run that through my press now. So you can recover copper from old magnetic ballast. Steel. Let's see here. These are kind of tedious. When you're trying to do these fast, especially if you got a long bit, it's good to use your second hand as a guide to get you in that screw as fast as possible. If you're doing 50 lights that are the same, you know, you really want to get yourself in a good rhythm. And try to do as many of the same as you can. As many of the same lights as you can at once. It'll make everything go fast. Oh, that chunk of copper's in there like that. Pretty interesting. Cast, garbage. Now these shears are starting acting up. It's garbage. Cast. cast, 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 cast. Yeah, we're getting there. Okay, that's a battery, so I'll just clip that and just throw that in the garbage. Sheet. That looks like stainless. Very slightly magnetic. Garbage. Extrusion. Okay. A lot of times little lights like this, sometimes I'll just throw them right in the pile. Sometimes they don't have drivers in them. This one's got a little baby driver. A lot of times I won't even worry about the screws on the glass. These seem to be coming out pretty easy. So most of the time I just take the hammer and smash the glass and be done with it. A lot of times these lights get moisture in them and those screws are just rusted and it's hard to come out. These ones are doing it pretty easy. Okay. I saved a couple of these LEDs. We'll see if they work. And we are moving along. That's getting sketchy. of a former driver. They're now making them plastic. Cheaper and cheaper. Oh, this is my fancy Hollywood style camera holder. That's how I get all them good shots. Okay. A little excursion. Just throw that over there for now. Oh, I did start a thing for ballast. Look at that. Okay. Steel. Run the maggot through here. Now most of you scrappers probably know where that magnet came from. And I gotta tell you something. I've never actually taken apart a microwave. I got all these magnets from the guy that used to work for me. He would take them apart all the time. I've never recovered a transformer out of a microwave. Okay, let me see here. I'm getting a little out of control with this glass. So I'll have to deal with that here in a second. Where's mine? I like to keep this clean. I'll keep sweeping this up because you keep working over top of this, you'll be kicking up all this dust and this fine glass. Probably not too good to breathe that shit. So we'll keep it clean and keeps you from cutting yourself. That's why I love this table. It contains most of this crap. Now if I could just find, I always lose that damn dustpan. Oh, here it is. I knew I put it somewhere close. Just try to somewhat clean up as you go. Otherwise shit gets out of hand real quick when you're processing a lot of scrap. Okay. All right. Let me look lights. Oh. Okay. Someone already gutted them. I'm not gonna complain about that. Nice piece of cast. Now, since I just cleaned my table, we're gonna take these over here. Break the glass with the hammer. Now when you're breaking glass with a hammer, you know, sometimes you can sit there and beat on it, you know, or you can do my favorite and just full send. You do that with a hammer you don't like, because it's gonna tear up that handle. I actually like this hammer, but I've got like 3 of them. Okay. Now, there are like hundreds of different style lights. Look at this. Phillips, flathead, nut driver, square bit, flathead all in one. Why not just make everything nut drivers? Come on there, manufacturer of lights. Get with the program. Now, what's that flathead I had? There we go. Flatheads are always difficult. Oh, something happened to my royalty-free music. Whew, I didn't think that was going to loosen up. That's why I like the impact drivers. And a lot of times, man, you get one shot like that one there. That's about stripped out, and see all the corrosion, you know? You get one shot to get that loose. You better have a good bit in your drill. Don't be using some worn out crap. That's why, like, I keep a box of these on hand, just brand new bits, you know, all kinds of stuff. It's worth having new stuff, because you strip one out, then you're fighting it. You be drilling it, or just like me, my favorite thing is to beat the crap out of it. Okay. Now I had, where'd it go? Here, these cutters right here. Now these ain't cheap, man. These are like 80 bucks at a Home Depot. I've had these for years, but you see that gap? I don't know if you can see. There's a gap in there. I would clamp these in here like that, and I would just run like 100 of these bulbs like that. That's not going to cut through. I actually bought a new pair. I don't know where they are, because that groove, it's not going to cut down here no more. Let's get that brass. I don't know where my brass bucket went, but we'll throw it there for now. You know, and then you can just cut this crap off. And just send that. Now, you take a bunch of these big bulbs as a residential, like a homeowner, you can take these HID bulbs to the dump, and usually they'll take them for free. But if you're like a commercial guy and you're bringing in like 150, 200 of them, they're going to charge you for them. If you take them apart and put them like that, you could probably get 150 or 200 of them in a 5-gallon bucket. So when you go there and you show, hey, I got this 5-gallon bucket of light bulbs, they're just going to be like, yeah, okay, just put it over here with the light bulbs and not charge you nothing for them. And you're recycling. You don't let that mercury go into the landfill and poison our water that's probably already extremely toxic. Okay, where'd that flathead go? 2 more. See that? It's got these little doohickeys here. Yeah, majority of the time I'll just smash that glass if I can't get it. Sometimes you got to get it from behind it. I can't get in. There we go. Get in those corners, and you actually can make that glass bend. That's probably gonna break. See, this is something I wouldn't sit here and do this all day. Once you get it going, see, put glue in there. Yeah, most of the time this glass gets a straight up hammer treatment. I'd like to resell that glass. Sometimes when I had my big warehouse, I would actually store, back in the day, I had a customer that would buy some of these old fixtures. He had, like, you know, he'd tell me to keep an eye out for a certain style, and I've actually made good money on when I get a whole parking lot that they change out the LEDs. There's nothing wrong with the fixtures. They're just old, They were working when they changed them. They literally, we'd be out there, they'd be on working. They'd disconnect it and put the LED up, and you know, I'd take them apart and scrap them. They'd still be hot. The transformers would still be hot when I would take them apart. Yeah, nut driver. So I used to try to sell them, but nowadays nobody's interested in HID lighting no more. They want LEDs. That's the future. But it's not the end all be all, because they're having all kinds of issues with LEDs, especially if they do a retrofit where they take a fixture like this and they gut it and put an LED in there. Well, this big old box fixture, it's just going to create a bunch of heat in there and cook the LED, the drivers and the actual LED. Damn, they're rusty ass flatheads. Why are there all these flatheads? Electricians love flathead screws. Scrappers, probably not so much, because I know I don't. See, this would be a good candidate. I'll keep that little mini set of bolt cutters around here somewhere. Where the hell did they go? Where's my bolt cutters? What the hell's going on? Oh, they're right in front of me. I always lose shit, and they're usually right in front of me. So that's why I like keeping the little mini bolt cutters. Always coming in. Hey, look at this little guy. Come on, get out of there. What do we got here? More nut driver. And a lot of times, man, you need a damn extension. Always have good extensions on hand. Oh, it'd help if didn't have nuts in there. It's the only downside about having a maggot in your thing. And yes, I'm saying maggot when I talk about magnets. Now see, sometimes like these ones where I'm getting a whole bunch of different ones, it gets a little tedious because each one is different. When you got like a bunch that are the same, this just goes really fast, you know? So we're making good progress. I would have liked to had all these broke down by 1 o'clock, but probably gonna be like maybe 2 o'clock. Now, this here, I know it's gonna be tedious to get that out. I'm gonna open that up just to show you. This is actually, a lot of times these arms are extrusion. Depending on how much time and effort it takes to get it open, it's a little, yeah, see, I had to get in there with a wrench, and then I'd have to get in there with a wrench, and I'm not doing that. So I'm gonna forfeit the extrusion and just sell this entire thing off as cast. And actually, look at this, that's extrusion too. That's just too tedious. You got to draw the line somewhere between your labor and what you're going to get out of it. And that was actually #1 insulated. If you're really anal about your copper, there's actually a lot of #1 in there. But then again, you know, you got to think about your time. You know, how tedious is it going to be to separate that when you got a shitload of other stuff like transformers that are going to make you a lot more money that you want to get to. I'm always looking to get to those transformers, because nothing, not even buying copper wire, pays like transformers, or at least copper transformers. Steel. And got a little mini nut driver. Oh, No, that's not it. Okay, gotta figure out what happened to my royalty-free music I was listening to. Oh, we got a message here. My wife will love it when I build one of these in the garage. Honey, will you have to park outside for a while and should be impressed with the boat bottom workbench. Okay. All right, look at that. No copyright, YouTube. So don't be copyright striking my crap now. I had a clip. It must have been 10 or 15 seconds of a song in the background that was on the radio, and they claimed it. And then, because of the song, it was a Notorious B.I.G. song or something like that, that just happened to come on in like a mix of songs. And apparently in Belgium or somewhere, I think it was Belgium, the whole video was blocked completely for the whole country because of that song. I guess they can't play no Notorious B.I.G. in Belgium, which I thought was pretty funny. There's a piece of tinted glass in here. That's pretty cool. Oh, it's like blacked out. Why even have a piece of glass like that? That's really weird. It's aluminum. Looks like double aluminum. I still run those. And I don't know what I did with the paperwork I had with the numbers, but I broke down a whole bunch of these aluminum one day and weighed them. I'll do it again. Here you go. Have fun. We're getting a little pile. Almost time to break down transformers. Okay. Flathead. Boy, this one really likes flatheads. I don't know what that is. Garbage. See, stuff like this. That looks like some type of contact in there. It's probably silver contacts, cast, brass. I see stuff like this. You run through a freaking hammer mill and recover all that stuff. What you got, man? Critter trap? Sheet, garbage, and sheet steel. Yeah, these things are starting to stick. Wonder if it's like all up in here that's getting dirty or something. Looks like it's rubbing. Okay. Send that just the way it is. Oh, wow, look at all that wire in there. Now, I know these probably contact switches here probably got a lot of silver in them. I'll do, you know what? I'll do this in a separate video. I got to worry about getting on transformers. Let's set this to the side for now. A lot of copper in there. Show you a little trick I learned back in 08. I can't find a Allen key to fit these little Allen bolts, but you can use a star bit and it pretty much works the same. See that? So just keep that in mind. If you got some star bits, or if you can't find the right size, just use a star bit.